clearly struggling movement-wise, and you know, what you were seeing was how's that playing out in the first quarter?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's a warrior. You know, he tried to get out there and play through what was going to be, we knew was going to be difficult for him to be able to move. You know, he did everything he could from a treatment standpoint to loosen it up, and you know, was hoping that, you know, some in-game adrenaline would also help with it. But you know, certainly wasn't moving well at all to start the game, and then went down, you know, grabbing it at that one point early in the first.
Phoenix obviously got off to that big lead. Frank, how much of that did you see in terms of the personnel changes and the system changes you had to make without AD, and how did you feel with that throughout the rest of the quarter?
Well, yeah, I mean, credit to Suns, right? I mean, they came out and made, I think, their first 7 threes or 6 out of 7 threes or something like that. Crowder made 3. Booker was red hot to start the game. You know, and obviously just put us in the deficit, and it was too much for us to overcome.
All good. Sorry. What do you think? When do you think the team turned it on a little bit in the second half? What sparked it, do you think, and how much of it was with that, had to do with that small lineup that you went to with LeBron at center?
Yeah, well, you know, I think that's the lineup to turn it around. I think we started a little bit with Mark. You know, we just had to find a way to shut Booker's water off. You know, I mean, the guy was just red hot, and you know, we tried to take the ball out of his hands in every way that we're capable of, and we were prepared with a lot of different double teams, and you know, to do that, you know, the best lineup out there is a small lineup where five smalls can basically rotate, or you know, Keith or Bron at the 5, you know, can double and then full rotate around the horn, and you know, we were able to generate some defensive stops, get us out on a break, and then there's offensive spacing benefit to that lineup as well. You know, had our best quarter in that third on both sides of the ball, but you know, obviously we just fell short.
And Morty?
Frank, I guess kind of a bigger picture question. Now that you're here, it kind of feels like the end of a journey that started 2+ years ago. You know, when you got hired. What was the message, I guess, to your group after you've been on this crazy road together, and now can actually step back and exhale?
Yeah, just, you know, I mean, I don't want to divulge too much of what I said to our guys, but you know, basically that I'm proud of them. We've been through a lot. You know, we had a lot to overcome, and you know, I was proud of them for fighting all the way to the end, you know, and staying together throughout.
Frank, as you reflect on this season over the coming months, are there things that you feel like could have been done differently, or is this just a result of bad luck and, you know, bad timing on injuries and things that were kind of beyond you?
Well, you know, I just think the whole thing was a challenge, you know, to play all the way into October and then to start the season as quickly as we did. You know, I mean, it was just going to be an uphill battle. None of our guys were prepared, you know, for training camp, and you know, we tried to grind through it, you know, and get our legs under us and get them conditioned the right way. We made moves. The front office made moves. You know, we tried to manage and navigate through injuries as a coaching staff. You know, just trying to strike that right balance of, you know, keeping guys in there and, you know, building them up the right way. And you know, ultimately, you know, the injuries that we faced were just too much. You know, with AD and Bron being out for as long as they were, and trying to strike that cohesiveness against you know, a great team, quite frankly. You know, the Phoenix Suns, you know, second best record in the NBA for a reason. You know, this is a matchup, if we're whole, that should probably take place in the conference finals. But obviously, you know, the regular season was what it was with injuries, and we slipped. So, you know, we have to take it in the first round, and you know, I would like to see what our group could have done against this team if we were at full strength, but we weren't, and you know, that's sports, and we just got to do the best we can, make the best of it. And like I said, I was proud of how our guys fought, you know, fought through the injuries.
Anything, Brandon?
considering the championship credo of this organization and the back-to-back role of this specific group, did you feel like you had a group, if things went the right way, would have been capable of reaching your goal? And what, outside of talking about the decisions that Rob has to make on that, but what do you think has to happen to get back to that not next year?
Well, what happens next and what I think needs to happen next will all be discussed over the coming weeks. But I do think we had a group that could repeat this year had not been for the injuries. We were 21-6 when Anthony Davis goes down, and then Bron goes down shortly after that. It sort of, it basically derailed our run, and we did everything we can to fight through that, but ultimately it wasn't enough.
Got time for one last question, Rashawn Mila.
Hey, Coach. You kind of touched on it a little bit earlier. Is it kind of tough to wrap your head around just how quickly this series changed? And is that sort of like a culmination of just what this season has been like for you?
Yeah, that's the playoffs. Playoffs change in a heartbeat. Momentum changes overnight with one game, with one shot, one possession, one injury. And, that's just the way the NBA playoffs are. But it's a disappointing feeling for sure. It's gut-wrenching. And, we'll get back to the drawing board. We'll take some time away and, turn our attention